Well, parents protesting earlier today outside the State House in Massachusetts because Massachusetts has now mandated that all students receive a flu vaccine by the end of 2020. We're going to break it down and talk about it. Before I go any further, if you guys enjoy my daily content here on YouTube, I encourage you can help support the ministry over on Patreon for as little as just $5 a month. Patreon.com/conservative truth. The link in the description gets you access to all my bonus content, talking a lot more about sensitive information. You get the alerts for anything that posts to Patreon, unlike YouTube, where you're not going to get all the alerts, and you guys have missed a ton of content. So when you get done watching this video, browse back to see what it is that you've missed. Also got to send a special shout out to Rosane, who recently became a $5 patron. Thank you so much, Rosane, for that support. It really means a lot to me. Now, guys, please like this video, share it, hit the bell, subscribe, and I wear the glasses because I'm blind. Now, like I said, Massachusetts becomes next state. It's gone along with a lot of other states that are now mandating a flu vaccine for all students to take. How young and up to how old? Well, as young as you can get. When you get into school, you'd be mandated for this vaccine all the way up until you're in college. That's right. This has to be done, according to the new rule, by the end of 2020. So December 31st, 2020, New Year's Eve. If you are not vaccinated, if you have not vaccinated your kids with this flu shot, then you are going to be in some major trouble. Now, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has come out and said that this is to help so that the healthcare providers and healthcare systems don't get overwhelmed with everything going on with Corona. You see, it's always about that, right? It always comes back to that at the end of the day. We don't want them to get overwhelmed, even though we know that hospitals are laying off hundreds and hundreds of workers because they don't have nothing to do. Ladies and gentlemen, why are they doing this with a flu vaccine? Because they're going to get ready for you when the Corona vaccine comes out. As soon as that comes out, guess what? That's also going to be mandated across schools all over the country. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, are there exceptions to this? There are. For one, medical reason. If your child for any reason has a medical reason that they cannot get a vaccine, they would be exempt from this. And I was surprised by this, but religious exemptions would also be allowed under this bill. And then the final one would be any parent rather that has a child that's fully homeschooled would not be required to take the vaccine either. However, when it comes to the parents that were actually protesting today down at the State House, well, many of them would not fall under these guidelines for an exception. They were saying that this is government overreach. They have no right to put anything into their child's body. They said that they should be the ones to give consent to that. They should be the ones to handle that. They even had some of the students here at this rally earlier today that were speaking out against this. One 10-year-old in particular, a 10-year-old boy, said that he doesn't like just any weird sort of substance going into his body without knowing fully what it is. So this has many parents concerned. They are outraged by this. Many of them are actually threatening to just pull their kids from public school altogether and homeschool them. And I will say this, myself, I would recommend that too. At this point, with everything that's going on right now, I mean, if you're in a state where they're not going to give you an exemption, then I would seriously look into homeschooling opportunities. I wasn't homeschooled myself, but of course, me going to school, I didn't grow up in a time where that was something that was, mandated. I graduated high school in the year 2000. I wish we could go back to those times some days. I really do. But it's a new world right now, and it's just not the same anymore. And like I said, they will eventually, when the Corona vaccine is out, this will go forward into schools. Let me just say this also about the state of Texas. The state of Texas put out a very similar mandate as far as flu vaccines go. However, they said that this would even include children who are doing online classes. Not necessarily homeschool, but those who are parents who are opting not to send their kids to school because they're afraid of Corona. They want to keep them at home and have them do the online learning. They would even be required to get the vaccine as well, because they said as long as they're part of the public education system and they're studying under the same curriculum as all other students are, they would also be required to take that vaccine. This is very scary, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting into some very, very dangerous waters here. We're getting into the deep end. We're in the last days. Jesus Christ is coming back soon. Be prepared. Ready your heart. Make sure you're ready to meet the Lord. When it's time, I don't know the day or the hour. No one does. Only the Father knows this for sure. but just be prepared. I'll put some more information on this down below in the description section. You can let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you have children that go to public school right now? I'm curious to know what you think. Would you get them vaccinated? If they're in a school that would require a flu vaccine or a corona vaccine, what would you do in this situation? I'm curious to hear the responses from those of you who have children in these schools. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back with more. You guys take care. Please be safe out there. God bless each and every single one of you. And I'll talk with you soon.